On NewsHour tonight. Binance's Gambarayan insists 150 million bribe allegation against reps true. Tambuwal blasts APC, attributes PDP defections to stomach infrastructure. Kaduna farmer profits from cassava waste, seeks investment for industry. And on the foreign scene, Djibouti's Yusuf elected as EU Commission chairman after 5 rounds of voting. Good evening and welcome to NewsHour on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. The news. Binance top official Tigran Gambarayan on Saturday insisted that the $150 million bribe allegation he made against 3 Nigerian lawmakers is factual. He added that his post on Friday was nothing but the truth of what took place in Nigeria. Recall that Gambarayan had taken to the microblogging site X on Friday to name Philip Agbese, Ginger Onwusibe, and Peter Akpanke, all members of the House of Representatives, as the 3 prominent Nigerians who demanded a bribe of $150 million from him to forestall his arrest and prosecution over money laundering allegations. The claim has since been dismissed by the lawmakers and the federal government. Despite the denials, however, Gambarayan posted again on X on Saturday that his claim was factual. Still on the matter, responding, the House of Representatives has pledged to protect the interests of the country and also ensure transparency in the ongoing probe of bribery allegations against some of its members. An executive of Binance, Tigran Gambarayan, had claimed that some had asked for a $150 million bribe during the impasse between the crypto platform and the federal government, a claim the Nigerian authorities have dismissed. But in a statement on Saturday, the spokesman of the House of Representatives, Akin Rotimi Jr., said, as an independent arm of government, the House upholds due process, the rule of law, and constitutional oversight. It described the allegations as hefty, thus requiring some clarification. The House of Reps said since the matter has been taken to court and is a matter of ongoing diplomatic engagement, the lower lawmaker body will refrain from further comment in line with established parliamentary, judicial, and diplomatic principles. Now, joining us via Zoom is an anti-corruption campaigner, Sunday Amos. Good evening, Mr. Amos. Thank you for joining us on NewsHour tonight. All right, so this situation now with Gambarayan and the reps, what is your general take on the situation?
Well, it's sad and unfortunate, and but the rabbit hole keeps going deeper. We have stated over and over again that such revelations will continue to be unearthed. Such accusations will continue to come. Such corruptions will continue to be exposed, and we're seeing it coming out again and again. But unfortunately, as we have kept on saying again, nothing will happen. These allegations will come, they will continue to be swept under the carpet. Life will go on as usual in Nigeria. Nobody will face the music for such allegations. Corrupt people will continue to defend and protect their own, and life goes on as usual in Nigeria. And at the end, our ranking in the annual Transparency International Corruption Perceptions Index will continue to go worse year after year.
Continue the situation. You talked about our corruption index, and just recently, earlier in the week, we had a report come out. We had gone up from 145 to 140. I believe that's some good news. That's an upward trend for us.
Yeah, it may seem so, but what does that say about Nigeria? Is that still a pass mark? Is that still something that we should clap ourselves for, pat ourselves on the back? I think it was 26 points or so we got out of 100. No child will praise his, no parent will praise his child for scoring 26 of 100 in any exams. So our performance on the Corruption Perceptions Index is still abysmally very, very low. And it is because of activities of people, especially in government, that keeps giving Nigeria a very bad name and keeps making us to score very, very poor on the TI's ranking year after year. So it may seem that there's an improvement, but it's a fluctuating kind of thing. Today we are up, tomorrow we are down, but we're all hovering within the same range of the dirtiest countries in the world. So it is not a place that we should ever clap ourselves, a position we should ever pat ourselves on the back for occupying at any point in time.
Now, this situation, we already know that we have some sort of cryptocurrency thing in Nigeria. Will this affect the plan or the onward push for cryptocurrency in our country?
I don't think it should. The issue of cryptocurrency, I think, has come to stay. Yes, there are regulatory issues coming up here and there, and I agree that such regulations should be tightened. But I don't think it is going to affect the operations of cryptocurrency or crypto trading in Nigeria. The only thing that is sad is that in more serious crimes, when there are allegations like this, you will see countries take concrete steps that you will know they are very serious about fighting corruption. Look at the recent hula baloo about Donald Trump trying to expose corruption within USAID. While the whole world is catching acute diarrhea about what you said is going to do or not going to do, my thing is, it is the US exposing corruption in USAID. This is a country saying, and its agency, there's corruption in its agency, and therefore is going to rout out the corruption. This is how serious countries operate. But when you have an allegation against an NSA, have allegations against National Assembly members, have allegations against the judiciary or so on, and then our immediate reaction will be how to protect them, how to defend them, how to dismiss these allegations, then you just know that we're still a country that is not serious about fighting corruption.
The people who have been accused, the House of Rep members, what do we expect, or what should we expect from the legislature regarding this issue?
Well, I expect that a committee should have been set up to investigate this. Or why do we have an EFCC? Why do we have a Code of Conduct Bureau? Why do we have an ICPC? Why do we have a committee on anti-corruption in the National Assembly, in the House of Representatives, and in the Senate? Why do we have all of these committees? I expect that these committees will immediately swing into action and come up with steps to investigate all of these things. But you hear of none of these things. Rather, the immediate thing that you hear is that it is a frivolous allegation, dismiss this, dismiss that. Yesterday, it would be the Minister of State that is accused of terrorism in Zamfara State. Nothing happens. Tomorrow, you hear about the Senate President. Nothing happens. So it brings to bear the whole concept of party politics, that anybody who is a member of the APC or member of this party, the moment you are a member, you are protected. Just like one infamous cartoon, that spread around some few years under Buhari with the caption, "When I see the broom, I will pass over you." So it's a kind of syndicate that when you belong to, no matter how heavy and weighty the allegations against you are from anywhere, you are protected. And it's a continuous, very sad commentary for our dear country.
Just before we let you go, do you think this would have any impact on our diplomatic relations with the United States?
Well, we have already shown that we are very weak. From the narrative that one has had, you can already see that we have lost a lot of respect from the United States of America. When the whole Chief of Defense Staff is denied visa to go to Canada, when you have a retinue of high-ranking Nigerian officials denied visa to go to the United Nations General Assembly, we have lost respect from the United States and from other countries around the world, and we will continue to lose respect as long as corruption remains endemic in this country. As long as our high officials continue to engage in these unfortunate deals of bribery and corruption, Nigeria will continue to lose respect in the eyes of the world. Unless we clean up our acts, unless we begin to take measures against our own people and show the whole world that we're serious about fighting corruption, even countries like Ghana can begin to talk anyhow. Cameroon will be, look, for God's sake, see the name that Burkina Faso is beginning to have. Even Niger here and Mali, everybody is beginning to respect them much more than Nigeria. Look at the noise that South Africa is making. Every Dick, Tom, and Harry is just making noise about Nigeria. And our simple problem is this big C, corruption. We cannot clean our acts. We are still talking about bribery and corruption till today. It's a great shame. And if we must stand up in the Committee of Nations, we must deal with this cankerworm, or else we will continue to lose respect.
All right, thank you so much, Sunday Amos, an anti-corruption campaigner, for joining us on the News Hour tonight to give your insights on the Gambarayan House of Reps situation.
Thank you for having me.
Moving away from that, now residents of Kebbi State are raising concerns over the proposed hike in telecom tariffs by major service providers. The biggest telecom provider, MTN, had attempted to effect an increase on Wednesday, but backed down after a pushback from the House of Representatives at the Nigerian Labour Congress. The present cost of calls, data, and other telecommunication services can barely be afforded by citizens, especially those in rural areas. We have more in this report.
The recent approval of 50% increase in telecom tariffs has sparked widespread outrage across the country, with Kebbi State residents being no exception. A temporary increase in tariffs of Wednesday left many residents of the state struggling to stay connected. Within the brief window of increase, subscribers had to pay more for mobile data, voice calls, and SMS services. A public analyst, Ibrahim Jikandidi, says that any tariff hike now will make communication increasingly difficult.
This country is a country where policies and programs are being implemented without considering the fate and the conditions of citizens. I want to call on the government and the stakeholders in this action or decision to consider the situation and conditions of Nigerians, particularly the fact that the economic recession, the economic downturn, and whatever that is going on are not helping matters.
The situation will impact negatively on students and small business owners who rely heavily on the internet for daily activities.
It has really affected me as a student who is solely dependent on her parents. Yes, no side hustle and all of that. And I have a lot of assignments, research to do, and the prices of data and airtime has really increased, and it's really outrageous because it's not enough for me to do my assignments and make my research.
Telecom operators attribute the price adjust to rising operational costs, inflation, and the devaluation of the naira. However, residents believe the burden is becoming unbearable, especially given the tough economic situation in the country.
We are calling for the government to help us to reduce the price for the cards, because the thing is too much. So many people want to buy something or want to do something because of this thing. The thing is very expensive.
The Nigerian Labour Congress has also criticized the government for prioritizing revenue generation over the welfare of citizens. In a statement, the NLC said, the telecom tariff hike is a clear example of the government's insensitivity to the plight of Nigerians. Kebbi State residents are calling on the regulatory bodies, particularly the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, to step in and ensure the telecom service providers prioritize affordability and quality service. As frustration mounts, residents hope that the government and telecom companies can strike a balance between sustaining business operations and making telecommunication services accessible and affordable for all Nigerians. From Birnin Kebbi, Cynthia Yongu, Trust TV.
From there, we go over to Bauchi State, where commercial motorcycle operators, popularly known as Okada riders, have expressed concerns about the conduct of some tax collectors working under the Bauchi Joint Motorcycle Riders Association, alleging questionable practices. They voiced these concerns in an interview with Trust TV, questioning the benefits they have received since payments began several months ago. Trust TV's Ademo Imam filed the report.
Motorcycle operators, commonly known as Okada or Achaba, make up significant portion of the population in and around Bauchi metropolis. Some riders express a lack of awareness regarding their contributions to the state internally generated revenue and challenge the concept of daily tax payments.
Up to now, we don't know how the money collected from us is being used. The government probably doesn't have access to information about these taxes, who benefit from them, and how they are used. We want all association members to be involved so that everyone can benefit directly. I believe this is a setback for us. Anything done without proper coordination wouldn't be effective. Working through an association will yield better results even in the long run.
As you see me here, I'm a medical doctor by profession. I go to school, I graduated at the Federal Polytechnic. I done my degree in HEB of Wakar University. I studied BSc microbiology. After that, I graduated, but I've not the opportunity to get government work. So I decided to go and look for employment so that I will handle and take care of myself.
Responding to the allegations, the leadership of the Joint Motorcycle Riders Association stated that their activities are yielding positive results within their operational scope.
We always do our best, especially regarding ID cards. We provide receipts as proof of payment. We also help members when needed. For example, if a member is genuinely ill, we will help by covering 50% of their total hospital bill.
The association maintained that despite the complaints, people should appreciate their efforts. They also claim to have contributed to a 35% reduction in youth restiveness within the state capital. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
We go over to Lagos. The enforcement of third-party vehicle insurance by Nigerian authorities has generated considerable discussion among motorists. While some are hesitant to renew their policies despite the risk of fines, others have switched from comprehensive to third-party coverage, perceiving it as more affordable. Victoria Chokolo spoke with an insurance expert to shed light on the benefits of third-party insurance for vehicle owners. Her report is presented from our studio.
Insurance, in its simplest form, is a financial safety net designed to manage risks and uncertainty. It protects individuals and businesses from potential financial losses due to accident, theft, natural disaster, and other unforeseen events. Motor insurance policies generally fall into two main categories: third-party and comprehensive. Third-party insurance is the minimum legal requirement for all vehicle owners in Nigeria. It covers damages caused to other people's vehicles and property, but does not cover the policyholder's own vehicle. With the new mandatory policy enforced by the Nigerian Police Force, the Federal Road Safety Corps, and the National Insurance Commission, all vehicle owners are required to have third-party motor insurance. Benga Onibokun, an insurance expert, explains some of the lesser-known benefits of this 15,000 naira third-party insurance policy.
So it has benefits that people don't don't actually think of. In court, they believe it is Olopaja and Koja, police, let me go. No, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. Now with the new premium, 15,000 naira, you can take your vehicle from Nigeria to any ECOWAS country without taking another cover. Formerly, before that 15,000 naira premium came, if you are going to Cotonou there or any ECOWAS countries, you have to take ECOWAS brand card.
The current economic climate has also influenced insurance choices. Many vehicle owners have shifted from comprehensive to third-party coverage, prioritizing affordability.
This is the third-party insurance I have. If police stop me or road safety, VIO, this is what I have. This is what I have to show them. So they will see that I have an insurance. This is what I have. This is third-party insurance. It's very good.
Okay, initially I was using comprehensive because I bought the car brand new. And when you're using comprehensive, you have to pay 10% of the cost of the car. But after some time, you know that after paying all this money, where is it going to? I mean, there's no need. I decided to use third party. That's what I'm using now, which is cheaper, although comprehensive is better. But affordability, that's the issue. At this current time, who can afford to pay 10% of the cost of his vehicle as insurance? No, I mean, so that's why most people now use third-party insurance.
While comprehensive insurance offers broader coverage, many vehicle owners, especially individuals, opt for third-party insurance due to its lower costs. However, Onibokun also highlighted the advantages of comprehensive insurance.
So anything that third-party policy covers, they are all in the comprehensive policy. So comprehensive is to cover you and your properties and the third party's property and injury or death to them as well. So there is no the significant difference here is the premium paid.
Economic hardship and rising costs are major factors discouraging many vehicle owners from obtaining comprehensive insurance and even renewing their third-party policies.
Over in Katsina State, eligible voters this Saturday voted to elect chairmen and councillors for the 34 local government areas of the state. Despite being held amidst security concerns in some council areas, a large turnout of voters was witnessed in Mathedi, Safana, Musawa, Matozu, Kankara, Kafro and Malamfoshi local government areas. Abdullah Yamadi tells us more.
Though there are reports suggesting that the process was marred by low turnout of voters in some local governments, other council areas recorded an appreciable number of voters. As at 8 a.m. in Batsari town, the headquarters of Batsari local government area, some eligible voters were noticed at polling units casting votes.
I really appreciate the way I see the turnout. People come out and cast their votes. Some have already casted their votes. You can see some are in the queue to cast their vote, and everything is peaceful. You can see the atmosphere is very friendly and lively.
I go around everywhere, and the election conducted successfully, alhamdulillah.
The election is fine. As you see our people, they are all moving around in a smooth way, and there is no any harm or anything that will not leave the people without come to cast their vote. In terms of insecurity, alhamdulillah, Batsari is now safe.
Some stakeholders described the process as seamless, even without the participation of major opposition parties. Across local government areas bedeviled by insecurity, some polling units were transferred to places perceived safer for the conduct of the election.
You can see the conduct of the election was peaceful, and the people come out en masse to vote for APC. And as you can see, people beside you here are all here to, I should say, they have already cast their vote.
Security personnel were drafted across the state to ensure safety throughout the election period, besides a restriction of movement from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. The last local government election was held in Katsina State in 2022. Abdullahi Izuma Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
A two-term senator who represented Kaduna South Senatorial Zone, Danjuma La'a, has officially resigned from the People's Democratic Party. Danjuma, who served in the National Assembly for 8 years, submitted his resignation letter to the chairman of PDP Malamgum Ward in Kora local government area on February 4, 2025. In his letter, cited by our correspondent in Kaduna on Friday, Danjuma emphasized that his decision to leave the party was personal and did not affect his relationship with the people. Danjuma also expressed gratitude for the support he received during his tenure and wished his former party members success in their future endeavors. His resignation has sparked speculation about his next political move, as the party he plans to join remains unknown. The Kaduna State chapter of the PDP has maintained silence over the resignation. Governor Obasani of Kaduna State has received 22 high-profile defectors from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the Labour Party (LP) in southern Kaduna. The defectors, who joined the All Progressives Congress (APC) and a zonal rally in Kafanchan, included serving and former federal legislators as well as lawmakers from the Kaduna State House of Assembly, former council chairman, state party chairman, and flag bearers of opposition parties. Speaking at the ceremony, Governor Sani explained that APC is now taking over southern Kaduna, which used to be the political enclave of PDP, because his administration is anchored on justice. According to the governor, he's abiding by the oath of his office by being just to every segment of Kaduna State, irrespective of party affiliation or ethno-religious background. He emphasized that after election, politics should take the backseat while governance takes the center stage, adding that this is the hallmark of leadership. Former Governor of Sokoto State Aminu Tambuwal has expressed his disappointment over the recent defections of members from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressives Congress. Speaking to journalists shortly after the Northwest Zonal meeting of the PDP in Kaduna on Saturday, Tambuwal attributed the defections to stomach infrastructure rather than the interest of the people. Tambuwal, representing Sokoto South Senatorial District in the Senate, questioned the motivation behind the defections, stating that no politician with a conscience will join the APC given its current policies and the economic hardship faced by Nigerians. The senator urged like-minded Nigerians to come together and work towards ensuring that the APC was voted out by 2027. Meanwhile, the PDP in the Northwest has reiterated its commitment to providing leadership and moving the country forward, vowing to oust the APC from power in Nigeria. According to a communique read by the Northwest Zonal Chairman, Bello Gorzo, the party resolved to take its rightful position at the national level and provide leadership to move the country forward. The PDP South Zonal Executive Committee has suspended its secretary, Felix Omemo, for 1 month over alleged misconduct and unauthorized media statements, discrediting the Zonal Executive Committee meeting held in Benin on Saturday. Omemo had earlier issued a statement in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, declaring the meeting convened by the party's South-South Vice Chairman, Chief Dan Orabi, as illegal. He argued that, according to the PDP Constitution, a ZEC meeting requires approval from the Zonal Working Committee, which he claimed had neither deliberated nor agreed to convene such a meeting. At the South-South Zonal Executive Committee meeting in Benin Edo State, factional Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Amwewule, moved the motion for Omemo's suspension. The motion was seconded by the member representing Ogoja Yala constituency in the House of Representatives, Godwin Ofiono. Amewule accused Omemo of misconduct, breach of trust, and fostering division among members. Following the suspension, PDP Zonal Legal Advisor George Turner has immediately been appointed to function as the acting General Secretary. You're still on to News Hour and Trust TV. Still to come. Kaduna farmer profits from cassava waste, seeks investment for industry. This story and more will return. Please to stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us and just joining us. This is the News Hour on Trust TV. A look at some of our top stories. We told you that Binance Gambarians insist $150 million bribery allegation against reps is true. We also informed you that Tambuwal Blast APC attributes PDP defections to stomach infrastructure. Bandits on motorcycles this Saturday took advantage of local government elections in Katsina State and attacked a mobile base in Zakar town of Safana local government area, killing one police officer. According to reports from the area, the bandits were aware that security personnel were deployed to various polling units for the election. but still managed to launch the attack on the mobile base. An official of Safana local government who pleaded anonymity confirmed the attack, saying one mobile policeman and one local member of the State Community Security Watch Corps were critically wounded. In the aftermath of the attack, an air component of the Nigerian Air Force, while trailing the gunmen, mistakenly hit a residential house, killing a family of 7 and destroying several houses. Safana is one of the local governments bedeviled by insecurity in Katsina State, where hundreds of people were killed, several others displaced, with hundreds of thousands of animals rustled over the last 12 years. At the time of compiling this report, there was no official statement from either security agencies or the state government. Still in security matters, gunmen have abducted a Catholic priest of Port Harcourt Diocese, Reverend Father Livinus Morris, alongside 2 others. Father Morris, who is the parish priest of St. Patrick's Catholic Isoko in Ikwere local government area of the state, was abducted alongside 2 others whose identity were not disclosed while they were returning from a hospital visitation along Elele Isiokpo Road in Ikwere local government area of River State. A statement signed by the Catholic Diocese of Port Harcourt on behalf of the Bishop by the Chancellor, Reverend Father Benedine Anele, said the incident took place on Wednesday, February 12th. When contacted, River State Police Command Public Relations Officer SP Grace Iringe Koko said the command is aware of the incident, adding that the command has spread its dragnet to ensure that the priest and the 2 other persons are rescued unhurt and arrest those behind the incident. The Edo State Security Corps, ESSC, has announced the arrest of no fewer than 18 suspected kidnappers and armed robbers in the state. The Corps Commandant, Friday Ibadan, a retired commissioner of police, disclosed this in a statement issued in Benin City. Ibadan stated that the suspects were apprehended along the Benin-Auchi Road, adding that 38 locally made guns, pellets, and several charms were recovered from them. He explained that the arrests were made during a bush combing operation near Equidon Camp, close to the army checkpoint along the Benin-Auchi Road. According to him, 17 of the suspects were non-indigenes of Edo State, while 1 indigene was from the Agbede community in Esako West local government area of the state. Ibadan further stated that the suspect had been handed over to the divisional police officer at Agbede Police Station and called for closer collaboration between the Corps and other security agencies in the state. Over in Kwara State, the police command has arrested a 29-year-old Islamic teacher and cleric over the alleged murder of a final-year female student of the Kwara State College of Education, Ilori. The female student, identified as Yetunde Lawal, was alleged to have been murdered last Tuesday by the cleric whom she met on Facebook. It was learned that the cleric was alleged to have invited the lady through a phone call on Monday and killed and dismembered her on the outskirts of Ilorin, the state capital. The police public relations officer in the state, Adeton Ejiri Adeyemi SB, while confirming the incident in a statement on Saturday, said that the command has commenced an investigation into the incident. Cassava, beyond its status as a cash crop, has significant economic value as virtually no part of the plant goes to waste. While commonly used to produce staples like gari and starch, even the cassava chaff, often discarded, has commercial value. In Kaduna State, this seemingly useless byproduct has become a source of income for some. This is the story of Sam Ilia, a resident of Ngarwa Masara in Jama'a local government area of Kaduna State, who is profiting from what many consider waste.
The cassava water can be processed into starch, and starch, even some are feeding on the starch. So nothing is waste. If it is only on cassava, nothing is waste.
Cassava provides a livelihood for many. While some use it to produce food, others process it for profit. Sam Ilia, however, has found his niche in selling cassava chaff.
This is cassava chaff. After peeling the cassava, we'll pack the peel, dry it, under the sun and package it. And each bag like this is 3,000 for animals feed. You can feed cows with this, pigs with this.
What appears to be waste undergoes a specific process to ensure quality.
Because we separate the chaff, the actual chaff. We separate it from the back one. The back one. We cannot package it with the back. So it's the back we burn. And after this, even the ashes, we can take the ashes to the farm for manure.
A lack of preservation facilities pose a challenge to the business, particularly during the rainy season.
But the unfortunate thing for this is once it is touched by water touch it, it will decay. During the rainy season, we have challenge. That resulted to this.
Ilya believes that with government support for cassava production, farmers in southern Kaduna can contribute significantly to boosting Nigeria's agricultural potential. From Jama'a local government in southern part of Kaduna State, Bello Musa reporting for Trust TV News.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has approved the expansion of 12 river basin projects across the country to boost irrigation, farming, and ensure food security. The Director of Finance, Hadija Jama'ari, River Basin Development Authority, Musa Kwankwaso, made the disclosure in a statement on Saturday. He said that the approval is a clear indication of President Tinubu's commitment to the development of the country, especially the north, through agricultural development. Kwankwaso explained that the approval for the expansion of the river basins will boost food production and address hunger and starvation across the country. He commended the House of Representatives Committee Chairman of Appropriation, Abubakar Kabiru Bichi, who ensured that the budget for the revitalization of the river basins was approved. We're now being joined by political analyst, public affairs analyst, Jide Ojo, to speak on the PDP defections or resignations. Good evening, Mr. Ojo.
Good evening. It's my pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. Now, earlier in the bulletin, we spoke about the defections that happened today, or rather were made known today, of the man in Kaduna State, former Senator Danjuma La'a, who has resigned. No one is sure yet of where he's going to. But away from that, let's say in the last few weeks, or rather over 6 months or a year, we've seen more defections. Earlier we had Ned Woko, we had Richard Daniels, and former governor of Imo State, Emeka Ihedioha. What can we say is the reason behind this resignations and leaving the People's Democratic Party?
Well, you need to put this issue in context. After every general elections, you have this bandwagon of people defecting from their from the party that brought them to power to the ruling party at the center. And they do this for a couple of reasons. First of which is for political survival. Political survival in the sense that by this time next year, the whistle will have been blown by INEC for 2027 elections. These people possibly are high that the odds does not favor them in the current party, and they needed to move to another party to realize their re-election bid. That's one. Two, there are also those who leave because there is a factionalization or crisis within their parties. And then if you look at PDP, Labour Party, NNPP, almost all the political parties, including PDP, including APC itself, in some states, are in crisis. And so Section 68 subsection 1G of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria actually gave room that if the party that brought you to office particularly as a member of the Legislative Assembly, because the issue of defection, particularly when you want to see it from the angle of maybe for selfish reason or for political reason, you may say that, okay, when there is a crisis, Section 68 subsection 1G says you can defect if you are a member of the Legislative Assembly. However, for the executive position, they can defect as many times as they can without any punitive measure being meted against them. But suffice to say that it's all about political survival. And you know, in politics, the game of politics is such that there is no permanent enmity, there is no permanent friendship. Only interest is permanent. For former Senator Danjumala, you could see that even yesterday, 3 members of the of PDP in the Kaduna State House of Assembly defected to APC. And what were they? What was the reason? They say, oh, they want to join the governor in bringing dividends of democracy to the good people of Kaduna, and that he has done so much for them, they want to join hands with him. That could be their reason, but unless it's challenged in court, they will continue to be members of the APC. But we should also understand that this is not new to our political lexicon. In the 16 years of PDP, it has always been the same bandwagon mass exodus to PDP after every election. From 1999 to 2011, after every general elections, you will see mass exodus of opposition members into PDP. And that's when they were talking about, oh, it's PDP and others. Even when we had 91 political parties, they were just like, oh, they are just featherweight parties. It's PDP and others. But now it's APC and others. But the opposition parties are also not helping their matters because many of them have failed to reconcile or to resolve the crisis, leadership crisis that is beleaguering the party. And you could see that the PDP, for instance, is bogged down by crisis over who is the authentic national secretary of the party.
And that's on the issue of, you brought it up earlier when you talked about the fact that the people in the House. Now, there's been a law that was made in the last electoral bill that was passed that when you cross carpet, you lose your seat. Are we expecting to see the current members in the House to lose their seats? Will this law be, put into effect? And please, could you answer that briefly? Thank you.
I think you read that wrongly. There's nothing in the electoral that says if you defect, you lose your seat. As I've said to you, Section 68 subsection 1G of the Constitution that is the one that gave effect that if you defect as a lawmaker, you lose your seat. But it also gave a caveat. The caveat is unless there is a factionalization in your party. And then the politics of that is that if the Speaker of the State House of Assembly of the National Assembly does not declare your seat vacant, INEC cannot go and conduct a fresh election into those positions. It is the Speaker of House of Reps, the President of the Senate, or the Speaker of the State House of Assembly that will declare those seats vacant before INEC can act on them and conduct by-elections into those positions. But in a situation where the defection is to the ruling party, you don't expect the Speaker or the President of the Senate to now go ahead and declare those seats vacant. So that's why many of the political parties resort to going to court to give effect to that Section 68 subsection 1G, that there is no factionalization in their party. So those lawmakers who have defected does not have very good ground to defect. But it is the court that will now give interpretation whether legitimately they have defected or they fell short of what the Constitution provides. But to the best of my knowledge, there is no such provision in the Electoral 2022 that if you defect, you lose your seat. But suffice to say, like I said, if your Speaker if the Speaker of the State House of Assembly or House of Reps or the President of the Senate does not declare your seat vacant for obvious political gain that the party has made, then you are as good as home and dry, except if your party goes to court and the court give order that you should vacate your seat.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you on the News Hour. Thank you for that insight on the situation, on the political happenings in the country.
My pleasure. Keep safe and happy weekend.
In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says it's recently announced policy imposing charges on cash withdrawal by customers from automated teller machines, ATMs of banks other than theirs, is mutually beneficial to both the banks and customers. CBN's Acting Director, Financial Policy and Regulation Department, John Onoja, who stated this on Saturday, said the implementation of the new policy, the complaints of shortage of cash at bank ATMs, will be a thing of the past, while banks will be helped to recover costs on the other hand. Onoja reiterated that the charges are only for withdrawal from other banks' ATMs, adding that there are no costs for customers anytime they withdraw money from ATMs owned by financial institutions that they bank with. The CBN, in a circular on Tuesday to all financial institutions and the customers withdrawal, the CBN directed banks and other financial institutions to apply the following charges with effect from March 1, 2025. And away from Nigeria, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf of Djibouti has been elected chairperson of the African Union AU Commission. Yusuf emerged winner of the election after the 5 rounds of voting on Saturday. He defeated Odinga of Kenya in the 4th round. Yusuf takes over from Musa Faki Mahama of Chad, who spent 2 terms of 4 years each. His emergence stunned Odinga, who observers expected to win the election. Yusuf, who won 33 votes, sounded more convincing when presenting his vision. Still on the African Union's 38th Ordinary Assembly, which began on Saturday in Ethiopia's capital Addis Ababa, bringing together heads of state to discuss key regional and continental issues. Top of the agenda were peace and security, economic integration, and institutional reforms. In welcoming remarks, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed called on African nations to strengthen unity, stressing that Africa's pursuit of justice for historical damages should not be misinterpreted as a request for aid. Kende Amodu reports.
The 2-day summit will see African leaders deliberate on the state of peace and security, the African Continental Free Trade Area, and institutional reforms, among other strategic matters. This summit also marks the launch of this year's theme, Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations. This is with an eye on addressing historical injustices and their lasting impact on the continent.
In a world marked by rapid change and multiple challenges, we find ourselves at a crossroads of uncertainty and opportunity. This moment calls upon us to strengthen our collective resolve, embrace resilience, and foster unity across Africa. The theme for this year's assembly calls on us to heal the scars of historical injustice and overcome lingering trauma that has long hindered our progress. The demand for reparations is not about charity or financial aid. It is a call for justice.
The African Union has an ally in the United Nations Secretary General, who says there is no excuse that the continent still lacks permanent representation in the UN Security Council in the 21st century.
The African Union and the United Nations has never been stronger. Together, we see an Africa booming with hope and possibility. You have a booming, enterprising population, including the largest number of young people in the world. The African continental free trade is poised to turbocharge the region's economy, and calls to address the legacies of colonialism and slavery are growing louder, as reflected in your theme this year, and as reflected in the leadership of so many passionate voices for the liberation of Africa, such as the great Dr. Sam Nujoma of Namibia, whose life we celebrate and whose loss we mourn. The world must never forget that Africa is the victim of two colossal and compounded injustices.
The AU has expressed solidarity with the Palestinian people, even as Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas told the gathering that the idea of deporting Palestinians from their land is a mere delusion. Apart from the issue of Palestine, a central discussion will focus on the biennial report on the bloc's Silencing the Guns initiative, which aims to end armed conflicts on the continent by 2030. Leaders will also assess the bloc's role in the G20 after it became a permanent member in late 2023. As the summit continues, the spotlight will be beamed on Africa's growing role in global governance, climate change, development financing, and social justice. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Let's go for some sports update with Adini Ajishafe.
Nigeria badminton players put up an impressive performance in the African Senior Badminton Championship in Cameroon on Friday, securing victories across multiple individual events in the men's and women's singles categories. The day began with J. Emmanuel setting the pace in the men's singles round of 64, defeating Stein of South Africa in straight set. In the women's singles round of 64, Ibere Road had to dig deep to secure a 2-1 victory over Algeria's Hala Boksani, advancing to the next round. Nigeria continued its dominance in the men's singles round of 32, with Anolu Apeori comfortably dispatching Omofun of Algeria in 2 straight sets, as Victor Ikechukwu beat Asin of Reunion, while J. Emmanuel extended his winning streak with a convincing victory over Pinolem of Cameroon. In the women's singles, Dorcas Adeshokon delivered a commanding performance against Oshefon of Algeria, winning in straight set. Similarly, Ibere proved too strong for Olsen of South Africa, securing another 2-0 victory for Nigeria. However, Nigerians' run in the mixed doubles round of 32 came to an end, as Musa and Alabi fell to South Africa's Kakura and J. Scholes in a 2-0 loss. And in athletics, Koinsala Ajayi clocked 6.51 seconds in 60-meter semi-final at the Tiger Paul Invitational in Clubs in South Carolina, equaling Favour Ashe's Auburn University record and moving to 4th on Nigeria all-time list. The Nigeria 100-meter champion earlier ran 6.58 seconds in the preliminary round before improving his time in the semis. He now sits alongside Ashe and Davidson Ezinwa with only Deji Aliu 6.48 and Olusoji Fashuba 6.49, with Tosin Ogunde 6.50 ahead of him. Ajayi's teammate Isaac Ocon also impressed, setting a personal best of 6.52 to become the 5th fastest Nigerian ever in the event, tied with Chidi Imo, Osman Ezinwa, Shinwo Bunkoya, Sunday Emmanuel, and Divai Oduduru. Adeka Lufakurede of Mississippi State University joined the sub-6 seconds club after running 6.58 to become the 17th Nigerian to run under 6.60 seconds. Meanwhile, University of Iowa freshman Chioma Nwachukwu clocked 52.25 seconds to win a 400-meter heat at the New Mexico Collegiate Classics, the third fastest overall across 15 heats. She stormed LSU's Ella Onujevo for the win, and her time moved out to 9th on the Nigerian all-time list. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And that wraps up News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more of our news, programs, documentaries, to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good night.
The Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.